Hi everybody, you're tuned into My Dad Says Audio. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. Today we'll be taking a look at my Marantz CD273, which has been pretty extensively modified by my father. He's done an additional modification to it. Dad, what do you want to tell us about the mod today?
Okay, been spending a bit of time on my son's Marantz player here, which features the TDA1541 DAC, the non-A version, although they're all very similar, to be quite honest. And you might be able to see here, we're fitting a power supply to it. We've just finished hooking it up on the bench external or out of the actual player to give us a minus 15 volt DC output. And as you can see, we've worked out how to mount this supply within the player itself. If you look very carefully down here in there, you can see the TDA1541 chip itself. There's the minus 15 on the TDA chip that we'll be feeding. As of yet, we haven't actually totally finished hooking it up. As you can see here, got a small toroidal mains transformer. I've had to do a bit of work in being able to switch it on and off via the main switch. One of the notable things with CD players, if you're going to fit additional power supplies, they should be switched on and switched off at the same time as the original supply. You don't want them switched at different times. They should be switched at the same time you switch it on. Both supplies get powered at the same time. Anyway, it's been going quite well. We're using, although you can't really see unless I took it out, we're using a 337 voltage reg. What I like to use, I don't know if you can see that, is a Linear Technology LM337AT. I find that this sound quality wise gives the best results rather than just a bog standard 337 voltage regulator. I think these ones sound the best. Essentially, that part of this circuit, you'll have to excuse my drawings, but that part of the circuit is essentially what we're using. That sort of setup includes the extra ripple rejection and also protection against reverse voltages. The other thing is, you may notice if you watched most of our videos that I'm a big fan of running the minus 15, be it a TDA1541A chip, TDA1541 non-A, the minus 15 volt on pin 15 on the TDA chip is quite crucial in terms of sound quality. What they usually do is they use a bit of decoupling, electrolytic cap to localized decouple of pin 15. And it's usually through a safety resistor off these fixed voltage regulators. Eventually we will be using it without that, powered purely by that. So I've sort of challenged my son. I think it'll be a significant difference in terms of overall sound quality. We changed the localized power supply cap from 220 mic to 470 microfarad, and you could hear that.
Yeah, that was
you could clearly hear.
Yeah.
It's it improves the bass is probably the most noticeable thing.
Yeah, significantly.
Yeah. It's a definite audible step up. So there's a number of different techniques of powering that better, and there's nothing better than powering it with its own individual power supply, which is what we're going to be doing here. By powering that point separately, it actually steps up the plus and minus 15 volts that run the op amps. So you have a twin benefit there if you think about it. Previously we had mentioned that I'd totally recapped this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my son to do some screenshots which basically outlines what we've done to the output stage here. So I'm going to put it over here.
Sure.
And you can try and get a nice screenshot of, try and get the picture too.
It's one or the other.
No, we'll get one. Okay, that's page one of this.
No, I've only done one paragraph.
Okay.
And the diagram?
Yeah, you can do the diagram.
All right, yep.
It's typical IV or current to voltage output stage that you'll find on CDs. Same story here. Some bits are highlighted. You'll notice that I've also used some step-down resistors. I think it's 3K9 from the negative voltage to the output pins on the op amps. That draws a bit more current through the op amps and biases them further into Class A than they are originally. I mean, these days you could use discrete op amps as well. You know, this is from quite a while ago.
How many pages are there? We're not going to do the whole lot, are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last time
rodeo.
Last time we got all these questions. So at least this way, those that want to know further about what I've done in this, a lot of this I've done, and might note that we've used analog devices, AD712s in this. And this is the last page.
Okay, great. How many transformers did you do for old Michael and his CD player?
Well, that was CD52, and that was the first bit stream. And I made quite a few power supplies.
How many?
Well, I just can't remember. There were quite a few.
Over 10?
No, I don't know, but there were quite a few. Suffice to say, they ended up getting stacked on top of the player. Okay, so we've got that?
Yep, it's all good. If anyone wants to read it, they can pause the video.
So that'll give you some idea. And I don't know what else I can... As you can see, that's the mains coming in. I haven't dressed it onto the transformer yet, but we've gone to quite a bit of trouble. I've checked which polarity gives the lowest radiation from that little toroidal transformer, and we've also set up the voltage reg to give us a minus 15. We adjusted it. It's an adjustable regulator, so we had a bit of fun doing that, didn't we?
Yeah, worked it out.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing I'm going to be interested, I'm expecting an improvement maybe I'm being a bit cheeky expecting an improvement, but I think you'll be a bit surprised at just how good it is in terms of stature. Because if you look at it, it's not even a full-size component. Full-size component will be out to here somewhere.
Yeah, well, a bit of background. I bought this from the local op shop. I think and it was part of a MIDI system, and it
started blinking and carrying on.
Yeah, my dad kind of got it going before he got in and started changing caps and stuff like that. But
what I did with you, I can remember you went, it's playing up.
Yeah.
And when you gave it to me to have a look at, I switched it on. It just sort of, the display just sort of blinked. Wasn't reading discs, wasn't doing anything. Anyway, a bit of cleaning up, and what I did notice with it, because I've completely recapped it, all the electrolytic caps, including in the transport section, but also all the electrolytic caps I've changed. And what I did notice, I had quite a few Philips little blue axial capacitors. A lot of those are very obviously defective. Loss of capacitance, drifting. Some of them were open. I don't think any of them were shorted, but some of them were open. They're just like not having a cap. So
yeah,
I went through and changed all the caps. Nothing particularly special except in certain points.
Yeah.
Like these ones here, which are around the op amps. The -15 one, which I've sort of been carrying on about, plus a -5 down here. They're a bit hard to see. You can't really see though. And the cap decoupling, the digital filter, I've also upgraded that. But it's a little bit of a giant killer, this machine. I'm actually quite a bit of a fan of the TDA chips. I guess it's in a funny sort of way. It reminds me of a good vinyl setup in a lot of respects.
Yeah.
And this punches well above its weight as far as I'm concerned, even though the plastic nature of it, that's...
No, that's great. That's Tom Evans style.
No, don't compare me to Tom Evans. It's not allowed. Not allowed.
Proprietary plastic chassis.
Yeah.
Now, I'm quite excited to hear it. As it stands, without the mod, it sounds excellent. So I'm really excited to hear how it sounds once the power supply upgrade's finished.
Yep.
Is that anything else you wanted to add?
Not really. We thought we'd just show you, at this point, I have to get this running and powering that point. There's been a fair bit of work, more than had I realised how much work was involved, I might have told you, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So you're sort of lucky in that regard.
Yeah, good.
The next video, you will be reviewing it.
Sure, sounds good.
You'll be saying, Dad, you're talking out of your rear end, doesn't sound any better, it sounds worse.
No, it's going to sound great. I'm excited.
Sounds worse, but I'm expecting quite the opposite. I think in terms of stature, I think the biggest improvement you're going to notice is in the bass end of things.
Yeah.
I think it might be capable of making you sit a bit bolt upright on big bass notes.
Great, sounds good.
Out of a cheapo. This would have been what was called a MIDI system.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't a mini system, MIDI.
Yeah, they had it in like a custom chipboard cabinet, and it was like a tuner, amp, and tape deck in one box. CD player. This CD player on top.
Yeah, you're lucky this one was powered separately.
Yeah. And a cheapo turntable and some cheapo speakers. But as I said, I got the whole lot for $10, so it's a bit of a rags to riches story. This would, if they'd checked it and they said, "Oh, it's flickering, it's had it," this would have ended up in a, at best, recycling skip.
Yeah. Like I said, what I did notice when I recapped this is all the Phillips axials. They're just little things. Most of them were cactus. They'd seen better days.
Yeah.
Anyway, next video on this will be the review. You've got to spin a few discs.
Yep.
And let our viewers know what you think of the old man's crazy upgrade.
Well, yeah, I'm excited.
Yep.
All right, everyone. That's pretty much it for today. If this is your kind of content, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. All right, everybody. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.